Welcome back to another episode of Black Seinfeld, the show about nothing.
Absolutely nothing.
It's the one and only Trinidadi Panamanian Poppy Rude Boy Top Gunner Suck Panyamada Giovanni Anglin. Hello, everyone.
Yo, what's going on? Bashtin, recording live from LA. Geo is in Brooklyn, New York. Back again. What's going on, people?
What you're hearing right now is consideration from, of course, Rihanna, one of the billionaires that Hove was talking about on God Did. Featuring SZA, we have to give her credit, of course. We are still waiting for that new Rihanna album, which I don't think we will be getting anytime soon, but it's okay to hope and wait for and really just pray to the heavens and the gods, or just pray to Rihanna herself that she will just bestow some music upon us instead of Fenty boxer briefs, which I'm not complaining about, but I do like them. I just want some more music as well.
From my from watching Kanye talk about stuff about like fashion and making money off those, and like how much music costs him personally, I could say it's probably more profitable for Rihanna to continue to make clothes rather than make music ever again.
I know when it comes to these billionaires like Jay, like Ye, like Ree, music makes them the least amount of money. I understand that, okay? But there is something with music that touches the people, that fills their souls, that gives them new memories, that is attached to their lives. That's something that sometimes clothes can get worn out, you know? And you have to get new clothes. But music, this stays forever.
Then listen to their old stuff, you know? You don't like my new music? Buy my old album, as Jay said.
But we've heard the new album. We always get new things from the old albums, but we also want to hear some new things from you. What's going on in your life, or what more wisdom you have to bestow upon us?
He is not your savior.
They
are not
I'm
your
not
savior.
saying
I understand what you mean. I understand.
Not my savior. I understand that. I'm not looking to them for wisdom and all that, but I just want to know what's going on in your life. The best way through that, I can't call you. I can't call up Hove. I can't call up.
And they don't do interviews either in this day and age.
Exactly.
So
they don't do that unless you're like a close friend or something like that. I'm not beat out. I'm not Elliot Wilson. I'm none of them. Okay. Hopefully, Bashtin, one day we can get there. They could be like, hey, yo, Bash, it's your boy Hove. I want to talk to y'all for an interview. Something like that. Maybe one day, but that day is not now. Okay, so until then, I would like some new tune for my head top.
Sure. So how you been, bro?
I've been well, but I just want to welcome the people back to 99.5 FM, WBAI New York, and to all the listeners tuning in on WBAI.org on the web, but also shout out to all the podcast listeners of Black Seinfeld. That's available on all digital streaming platforms, DSPs, such as Stitcher and Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, CastBox, TuneIn, iHeartMedia, Audible, Pandora, every single DSP available that's available for podcasting. We are available, people. Just go to Google and just type in Black Seinfeld. We pop up, people. That's how important we are to the culture, to the movement, to the youth, them, all of that. Also, we have blackseinfeld.com if you don't feel like doing what I just told you to do, although you should. But hey, go to blackseinfeld.com too. It's a great looking site. Bashtin worked very hard on it, and I would appreciate it if you took some time out of your day and you go to blackseinfeld.com on your phone, on your browser. Just go on
your iPads.
Please. On your oh yeah, that's still a thing. iPads are still a thing.
Oh yeah, they're beautiful.
iPads,
they're getting better now too with the new update. You can actually connect it to your monitor now, which is crazy. You couldn't do that before.
Wait, you couldn't? I just assumed that you could. My bad.
It only mirrored.
This is how you know I'm out of the loop.
It only mirrored. It was useless, in my opinion. Useless.
This is how you know I'm out of the loop when it comes to Apple events, because every year I do not care. I'm not gonna lie to you, man. I don't care when it comes to new Apple events because everything is just bigger.
Well, there is always a small plus to it, but as I said, I always tell people this is kind of the Tim Cook era, and he's done nothing incredible. He's just doing very small, meticulous, small projects, and he's making the most money that Apple has ever made in history. So I guess it's a win for the company. They're not mad.
Absolutely.
So if you're making money, then whatever is interesting that Android is doing with like Google or Samsung, they don't have to do that. They could bring those features up one piece at a time, and you'll love it. So
Because Apple is all about the aesthetic because it aesthetically looks appealing.
yeah,
Not gonna lie about that. And what's also cool about Tim Cook and Apple at the moment is I'm sure they know that, okay, how do I word this? People are going to get the new iPhone, right? But what's dope about what they did is they still have a lot of the iPhones still on market. So iPhone 13, iPhone 12, iPhone X, they still have all those in the market and people still buy those iPhones and they still regularly will show those iPhones. It's not a main feature anymore, but they're like, oh, hey, if you don't have this iPhone, then hey, how about this iPhone? How about this iPhone? What iPhone can fit into your budget? There's an iPhone for it now.
yeah.
I think that's smart.
I didn't think
That's
about
good
that, but
business.
yeah, they've done that compared to other companies. I could say, for example, I used to be a big OnePlus fan, but now I no longer care about them as a whole brand. And they used to do that in a way, but as they got bigger, they only focused on that new addition. Same thing for Samsung as well, because I went to Samsung S21, and that's one from last year. S22 has been out. It has curved edges. I already have curved edges, and I'm tired of it. I want flat edges because it's flat edges like the iPhone. I have an iPhone as well, and I could actually watch a video on it. It's beautiful. So when I try to buy, or at least try to understand the pricing for the S21 from last year, it's like I have to dig through the internet for someone to say, yeah, we'll sell it to you. And it's strange. It's only a year old model. But of course, iPhone 12, you can still buy it. You can buy the iPhone 12, 13 now, but you also buy the iPhone 10 if you need to. So
Yeah. I still know people where you can buy iPhone 7s,
yeah,
iPhone 8s.
and they did
I
that
know
with
someone
the
who
computers
recently
too.
bought the 6S. Yes,
Yeah,
as well with the computers. Normally, I know that if you want the computers, from what I know, if I go to an Apple store, they might not have it, but it's easy to find.
they have it now compared to when you bought it, because I forgot to warn you. I remember I was going to say, yeah, you should get it the same day, or the day you called me. The day you called me about it. But they're doing better now. The chip shortage is still a problem, but I know many companies have found their way around it. I don't know about car companies. I think they realize they don't have to produce cars. They just gotta raise the prices, or at least allow dealerships to do whatever they must in
Yeah,
order to
that's
bring
why
more
used cars are
money.
getting more expensive.
Hey, if you could find that nice 2006 or 2007 Acura, and the paint job still looks good, might as well cop it. But yeah, you will be overpaying for it, and trying to get a loan in this day and age is ridiculous. So maybe you should skip that car. Maybe you should do what I did and buy
What did
yourself
you
a
do, Bash?
skateboard.
Oh, I thought you were gonna say ask for the Carfax, but see, this is how you know Bashtin is now becoming more LA. He has a skateboard now. I
So
don't know if you were doing this in New York back in the 2010s, like the rest
I
of us that
was.
was part of Taylor Gang and Odd and all that whole connection pro era. But now he's back with the skateboard again. This man is so LA. You don't know this right now, people, but he has on some Vans along with a Dickie pants right now. You can't see it, but I just trust me. Bastion is wearing these things. I'm assuming khaki too. Getting real LA with it.
Anyways, I've skateboarded here in New York. I also did longboard as well. But when I switched over to longboard, that's all I did, because I was not interested in learning tricks. Also, I didn't have time. I was like doing school, I was working, so you don't really have enough time to practice and go to the park. But out here, it seems there's a lot of skaters, and I see them skating in order to get to one destination to the other. And sometimes you don't need to skate like a whole like 5 miles. You need to skate from one place and take a train, then you skate to the other place. So that's what I want to use it for, just so I could get. It takes me what, like 18, maybe 18 minutes No, okay, let me just give you a rough estimate. It takes me 15 minutes from my place to get to the train, but if I skateboard, it'll take me 7 minutes.
Not bad.
So now I don't really have to rush because the new train comes once every like 25 or it could be 18 minutes, depending on the day.
Oh,
So
hell no.
depending on the day, sometimes it comes every 7 minutes.
Okay,
But
good.
I just don't want to mess up because I took too long to get there. And also it's hot. So if I could just skate there, it'd be a little bit better.
Well, y'all have been experiencing a massive heat wave over there, and I've been seeing things up to the triple digits.
Yeah, so the heat wave, especially in the West Coast, is a little bit insane. And just to clarify what a heat wave is, and I'm pretty sure people already know what it is, but a heat wave occurs when the daily maximum temperature of more than 2 consecutive days exceed the average maximum temperature of that said area. So the average here is mostly 80, and then it's just 100 degrees for like 3 days straight. It's a heat wave because that's not supposed to happen. Like if it happens one day, it's like, oh, that's a heat wave, but not really. It's only one day. It just got hot. But if it's
This man's
happened
a
multiple
meteorologist.
days, then it's kind of insane. Yeah, meteorologists are are mostly a government entity, which I did not know that. So
Wait, what?
yes, anytime someone says like, AccuWeather, if they're forcing you to pay in order to get better weather report, just know that they're getting it for free from the government and you're just paying what everybody gets for free. So we got to make sure that AccuWeather doesn't force everybody to start paying for weather because we get that for free from the government. It's very important. Weather is the most
Wow.
important thing to this country, and government actually controls like what not controls,
Weather.
but they have all the necessities and stuff. Anyways,
How do you know this? No, how do you know this?
people talk about it sometimes. Also, I think Adam Conover also had a show about it that did a deep dive. I knew about it, but that
Mm,
show did a really good deep dive. It's on Netflix.
so
It's
should we
called The G
trust the
Word.
weather people?
100%.
Right.
The weather people are so important because let's say you're trying to take a plane from New York to LA. You got to make sure the weather is good in all those states that's just passing through because you could fly to Detroit or you could fly through PA just because there's a little more rain in Detroit. So it's just going to go the PA route to get to LA. And that's a 6 hour flight. Or maybe because they know the winds is a little bit different, now it's a 5 hour flight. Yeah, that happened to me many times. Sometimes it's 6 hours and 12 minutes. Sometimes it's a 5 hours and 4 minutes. I'm like, wow. All right, cool. That's all because someone's paying attention to the weather. Very important.
You know what you realize more and more when you start traveling, especially across America? America is a big place.
Oh,
Where I'm going, it's like 3 hours, 3 hours plus.
yeah. America's this. I couldn't even say America. I could say the scale of the world is much bigger once you travel more than maybe one time a year. Not tri-state area for the average New Yorker. That doesn't count.
That
It
doesn't count.
doesn't count. But like if you go somewhere, go on vacation that's not Florida or Mexico, or DR, then you're going to understand it's a big world.
That is true. But even then, let's give them credit. Florida, that's still 3 hours. DR, that's like 5 hours.
No,
I
but
don't know
because
about Mexico because I've
it's
never been.
there, because you either have
Yeah.
family there, so it's a vacation spot, it's a hot spot for you, it's your go-to spot. If someone says where you want to go, it's like going downstairs to your basement, even though you don't have to go downstairs to your basement, right? It's like it's there. But if you go
Right.
somewhere that you've never been there, you're like, wow, this is kind of insane. Like if you're going to any country in Europe or any country in West Africa, and you're like, wow, this is insane. This was here the entire time. But just going back to the heat wave. Yes, it's hot. Yes, it's more of a dome because please people do some research. There's articles written about it, like how bad the weather is getting due to global warming, and we also understand that Biden did pass some bills about it, but of course it's going to take forever for them to actually start because due to this heat, we're also using a lot of electricity. Because we're using a lot of electricity, we're using a lot of coal and natural resources. So it's mind-boggling that we have to wean away from it and then switch it over to another way to create this energy. But we're just going to keep using it, and soon I think we're just going to deal with the problem, which is the worst case scenario. But just to tell you how bad it is out here, right? It's so hot, and I live like right next to a beach, right? I'm next to Santa Monica. You probably heard it before,
Oh
and
shoot,
it's
Bashtin got money. What?
no, it's not beach money at all. It's literally just land next to a water. You would assume that it was cool, right? But it's
Right,
not.
because
It,
that's
people
what you
can't
always
swim
hear.
in Santa Monica.
Wait, why?
No, because
They just not good at swimming, or
no,
what's?
you're not supposed to. They actually gave over the weekends like testing revealed that there's high bacteria levels in the Santa Monica Pier, meaning beachgoers should avoid swimming, surfing, or playing in the ocean water, according to the department. It's like it's
Oh
not
my
it's
God.
it's not like you live. Okay, it's equivalent to if you live next to Coney Island. You think you're popping living next to that beach, bro?
Oh yeah, yeah,
You think you
yeah, yeah. No,
popping living next to
I
Coney
mean,
Island?
all right. To be fair, Coney Island, everyone just assumes, just thinks about the beach and they think about the amusement park and all that stuff. But nah, Coney Island, they get down over in Coney Island. Shout out to everyone in Coney Island. Shout out to the Warriors too, one of my favorite New York-based movies. But no, I will not step foot in that water because it's different over there, Bastion. Okay, because you find Doritos and boo-boo stains in the damn water. Okay, that's different. And
So I
tampons
would
and all
like to
that.
tell you it's similar. You think it's different. You feel like it's
No
different,
way,
but it's
really?
similar. I can tell you the best way to describe Santa Monica. It takes like the best cool parts of Brooklyn and the more interesting, like shorter building esque part of Manhattan, puts together next to Coney Island. So and the energy is still the same. Just because it looks
Really?
modern and nice, and people live there, they pay $3,500 for an apartment, doesn't mean it's like, oh, we're going to the ocean, we could go on Instagram and go swimming the same day. No, it's still bogus out there.
I will tell you then, Bastion, because I don't know any more Californians or I don't know how do you guys call yourselves, Los
I'm not
Angelesans,
from there, bro. I live here.
Los Angeleses. Well,
I'm
I
still a
feel
New
like y'all
Yorker
lied
in
to me.
LA.
I feel like y'all lied to me then because y'all made it can seem like Santa Monica, like the Santa Monica Pier and all that. It's freaking
It
amazing. It's
probably
cool.
was.
It's really.
I think so. It probably was. Coney Island was probably cool at one point in time,
Oh yeah, it was, and yeah, it was.
right?
It definitely
People
was.
were, was it, shucking clams back in the day,
That
right?
is true.
New York City used to be the spot for clams, and what happened? We overshucked. Now we have no clams. We're clamless. Now you don't know what good clams are. We got to order it from Washington in order to enjoy it in New
I thought you
York.
were gonna say Boston,
I no
New
New
England.
York. I don't think New Yorkers get. I'd never went to a spot where they got clams from New England. All of them said
Really?
Washington. Yep. Every time I asked
Oh, I'm sorry.
where the
What about
clams
New
at,
England clam chowder?
I don't.
That's New
That
England,
could be
no?
just a recipe, and then but where do they get the clams from? You gotta ask.
I'm I'm assuming it's if it's in the name New England clam chowder.
No, that's the
If
recipe.
that would be some BS if they get it from Washington and it's called New England clam chowder. You know what? All the listeners out there that is from New England that are listening to this show, please hit us up, blackseinfeldny@gmail.com. Let us know, is New England clam chowder, or is the clams from New England clam chowder? Is it actually from New England or is it from Washington? Because I'd feel some type of way about it. You'd have to change the
It's
name.
probably a quality assurance thing too.
Yeah, it probably is a quality assurance thing. You know what's crazy about, like, when it comes to cooking, especially when it comes to fish and all that, a lot of those restaurants that use fresh fish, a lot of them get that stuff flown in like the night before.
Oh yeah, oh yeah. Especially if you wanted to do like a beautiful omakase, Japanese style, where they make you some delicious nigiri by hand, and that style costs you between $80 to maybe $150 per person. That fish isn't from New York. It's not even from like our side of the coast. It could be from the West Coast, or it could be from
Hmm.
somewhere in Asia. So
So would it
yeah,
would it be a bit cheaper to get nigiri over in Los
same
Angeles than it
price.
would be
I'm
in,
positive
oh,
it's the
same
same
price?
price. Yeah,
Okay.
it's still like a community, so they want to make sure that you still get a bang for your buck. So I don't know, like if you get, I can't speak for them, but I can only assume if they're paying 25 pounds per tuna, right, at one place, another place is paying 15, they're not going to charge you the same.
Huh.
Because
Yeah, fair enough. I get it.
you get a tuna roll in one place, it's garbage. You get a tuna place in another place, like one of my this is not tuna. This is too good.
Well, quality in fish is very important. Okay, you get what you pay for in fish, and this is advice to everyone out there. Please be wise when it comes to choosing the fish that you eat. Okay, I don't want y'all getting sick out there because it's nasty. Okay, it is disgusting. Make sure you smell it. Make sure it's fresh, or if anything, it's consumable. Because shoot, you take one bite and your stomach is wrecked.
You're gone.
You are gone. Okay, you will be sick.
Yeah. I'm personally very weary. I love sushi. I would love to do more omakase, but those are very, very expensive, and I do not have like $150 to throw on some on a 10-course dish meal. So yeah,
I hear you.
Yeah, but next time in New York, I'm definitely going to take you out to one of those spots. You got to check it out. It's a good time. It's a very interesting experience.
I trust you this time, okay? Because I remember one time when we tried to get the Szechuan sauce from McDonald's and we didn't, and you were bigging up this Korean chicken spot. You were like, "Yo, this Korean chicken is, I'm telling you, it's legit, man." I think it was Bonchon or something.
Yo, for all my Koreans out there, Bonchon, like I know it's not lit anymore, but I swear it was.
That's where he took me, people. That's where he took me, Koreans.
It's not lit anymore. There's other spots that are more lit now, which is crazy because it's true. I went back to Bonchon, not a fan of it. I was kind of surprised too when I had it with you. It's like, oh, this what happened? Damn, kind of embarrassing me, bro. But
yeah, I'm like, yo, see, don't ever say Korean chicken is better than the black people chicken. I'm sorry.
No,
what is this?
I do consider it two different styles in my opinion.
It is different styles.
I like Korean fried chicken with rice with their spicy mayo or Japanese mayo, which is a little bit sweeter. I don't know what type what makes it so different, but it is sweeter. I'm a big fan of that. That's actually I got a spot out here. I eat like maybe once a month for that stuff. But yeah. But it's expensive, like $17 for a bowl.
Yeah. Wait, what? $17?
Yep. Because imagine like popcorn chicken style, but it's Korean chicken. And then you just put everything on top of it in like a nice 2-person bowl. You just eat it for one person. Yeah.
Your chicken be expensive, dog. I ain't gonna lie, man. It's a bit much.
Yeah.
But I get it. I understand it now.
Yeah.
Okay. Chicken is up 16%. Back then I didn't get it.
Yeah, it's only going to get worse now. But to go back, the heat wave, it's hot. I bought the skateboard so I could skate to places without being under the sun for too long. I constantly go outside with some nice spray, SP50, SP40, just to get some sunblock on me. You gotta make sure you don't get the ones that make you look too shiny because you gotta be safe, especially for a dark skinned person. I guess I could name drop a brand that I use. I use Goop. It's expensive, but it does the job. It's called Goop? Yeah, Super Goop, I think.
Okay.
It does the job. It's definitely recommended by like every black person ever. So. So.
All right.
So.
That's the cosign right there. I'm gonna Google this now.
Yeah, it's funny. That people recommend that one. It's just the name that kept popping up, but I use it like every time I go outside. And Kroger also has this like non-name brand version of the same thing, which is hilarious to me, and it's much cheaper. And that's why I use it as like a body spray as well. But yeah, sunblock is very important out here when you're under the sun. And I was telling this to Gio earlier before. It's like, yeah, we black people, we can stay under the sun for a long period of time. But the problem, and he's like, yo, we should be able to take the bad with the heat. It's like, no. I'm pretty sure, especially when I went to Haiti, most people stay under the shade. All right? Yeah, you could take the sun, but they're most likely under the shade at home, chilling with the AC on. I'm sorry. Once they get a little electricity, the AC is on. Tropical is cool.
Right, exactly. You get some breeze in there. Over here in New York, you just get muck and you don't get any breeze. It's just humid and the sweat just sticks to you.
I always wonder what old New York is supposed to be like designed about, because for example, like Seattle and like San Francisco, you could tell it's like a forest, right? It used to be a forest. That's why it's very foggy or muggy, and that's why like it rains, but it doesn't really touch your skin. It's just the type of area it is, right? Well, it
Yeah,
was like
you
in New
live in a
York.
desert.
Yeah,
You live in a desert.
no, LA's it's not a desert. I could like Las Vegas is a desert. Las Vegas is a desert.
You told me when you went there, you said the air is very dry.
Yeah, it is. Like I tend to cough, but I think it's just smog. I think we just have a lot
New
of
York
smog.
has smog.
Not as bad as LA. It's
Really?
literally the talk of a town. Like it's the smog is real. Remember, it's a car society. Like
That is
we have
true.
less cars only because we have a beautiful train system. Sadly, we don't have a train system that could take you from Queens to Brooklyn, but from Queens to the city, Brooklyn to the city, and different
I
stuff.
mean, hey, if you don't want to count the G train, that's fine. I understand. I get it.
It doesn't take you
I don't
where you
count it
need to
too.
go.
I mean, hey, I
And the
told you,
Z
I
and
don't,
was it
I'm
the
not
J
mad
train
at it.
either? Oh man, that's the most grimiest train ever.
Hey, and you know what? The J train is still grimy and I respect
This
it.
is
Okay.
every
I
time
used
I
to
took
take the
it.
J train every time when I would go to York College. That's what I'd be taking. The J train, bash. And yes, it does take you from Brooklyn to Queens. But yes, the grimy parts, okay, it goes to Jamaica. Don't disrespect like that, bro. You know what it is. Don't do that.
I just want
Don't
the
do that.
world to cool down a little bit, but not Ice Age cool down. Chill. We don't get that for the next 20,000 years. But it's gonna be really weird because, like I said before, it's not about fixing the situation. It's about how to deal with it. And
Because it doesn't seem like people want to fix it because there's this split in the middle of hey of scientists just saying hey we need to take better care of the earth, and then there's the other half that's saying this isn't even real, so I understand you.
yeah,
And unfortunately, well, I don't know, maybe
I want to say other
fortunately
half. I
for
said
us,
the louder half, a louder part,
the stronger minority,
the
the
louder
louder,
minority. Yes,
there you go. Wait, do you want children by any chance in the future? I don't know.
sure. Let's create I'm gonna create new legends.
Okay, create new legends. So, fortunately, or maybe unfortunately, we won't have to deal with the problems of our actions. It will be the children and the children's children and the children's children that would have to deal with the problems that was set by old white people.
Well, the best thing you could do is get them to understand post apocalypse movies. Show them Mad Max. It's like you could be the people there, or you could be like Max. Don't care. Get your gasoline and move on. So
Or, you know
your
what? I'm
gasoline.
sorry, but I think Mad Max is a bad idea because Mad Max is cool. It's really cool.
No, it's
That
not.
post
It's
apocalypse.
terrible. What?
It looks incredible.
No,
I would
there's
say
nothing.
no,
What
don't do
movie
that.
did you watch? All of them are bad.
No, they're not. They're
Great movies.
freaking
All of them are
cool.
great movies. But,
Exactly. That's what I'm
but
saying.
all of them are
Being in that world.
terrible worlds and terrible situations to be in. You're talking about
I
fighting for underwater for like a drop of water.
exactly. I would say if you want more of a realistic apocalyptic world, you remember the Book of Eli with Denzel?
Yeah,
That would be something that's scary as hell.
yeah, that movie.
At least they brought back the bartering system.
Yeah, yeah. Anyways, let's get into the first song of the week.
Sure, we could get into the first song of the week, man. Tell the people.
Yeah,
What do you want them to hear?
yeah. We're just gonna get into some old school Steely Dan. Time out of my mind. Check it.
Welcome back to Black Seinfeld. That was Steely Dan with Time Out of Mind. And before we get started once again, we want to shout out all the YouTube viewers. Shout out to all of you. Please don't forget to give us a like, share it, favorite, put it in your playlist, leave us a comment, hit the red button below, subscribe, and whatever YouTubers say, please do that. You know the vibes, you know the drill. We love you.
Yo, Gio.
Yes.
How was your Labor Day?
My
I know we
Labor Day.
discussed that last week. You know,
Yes. Did you miss it, Bastion?
a little bit because I saw some pictures because I have friends from New York, of course, and they went. I was like, ah, yeah, I remember. Would I go if I was in New York? I don't think so.
Hey,
But
I
did
get
you
it.
go
So, funny enough, I did not go. And the reason why I did
to
not
Juve?
go,
You didn't go to Juve.
nah, I didn't go to Juve. I didn't go to any of it. And I will tell you why. I was partying all Labor Day weekend, man. Since that Friday, once I got out of work, I was partying. I was partying Friday. I was partying Saturday. I was partying Sunday. And then when I woke up Monday, my body was like,
You ain't as young as you used to be, bro.
I'm not as young as I used to be. And my body's like, yo, you've had way too much alcohol, man. You got to relax. You got to chill out. I did have to go out though because I had to run some errands and I had to do a couple of things. So I was on the train, and because of the train that I take, I'm still around the festivities. And so when the train doors would open, you would hear the music. And just walking around just a little bit of it, a lot of people were there and it was very festive. And I can tell people really missed having the Labor Day parade around because we haven't had the Labor Day since 2019, Bastion. And I remember that day very vividly because that was the day it was raining too. And I was on the truck, so that was tight. But what was not tight was the rain. So we've had this report all week long about whether it's going to be rain or not, and whether this was going to be a washout year. We did get rain, but it wasn't until after the parade, so that was good. It was pretty humid that day as well, but yeah, there was a lot of people around, man. A lot of people there, a lot of people showing their Caribbean pride and flagging and doing everything, whining and grinding and having a great time. I saw a lot of people playing mass, of course. Saw all the stick men. It was great. It was great to be around it, even though I wasn't in it. Uh, and then to cap off the night, there was Marshall Montano, who was one of the top soca artists of all time, especially in Trinidad. He had his 40th year celebration in music, and it was capped off over at the Barclay Center. So right after Labor Day parade, which ended like around 5, Marshall's performance was at 7 o'clock and started at 8. And that thing sold out. You would have thought Bad Bunny was in town. That's how much it sold out. They actually oversold on the tickets, but it was only one night, and I saw some clips from it. I didn't have FOMO of seeing Marshall because I've seen him before, so it wasn't this big all like, oh, I wish I was there. But it was nice to see videos and photos and of people that I know that were there. It was beautiful to see, and it's a great welcome back to New York, honestly. So I wish you were here to
Nah, man,
witness
I
it
feel
and
like I missed out
just
a
feel
little
it.
bit.
A little bit. You missed out a little bit, but it's okay, man. There's always time for, if you ever decide to return just to say, hey, it's always going to be there. But also, since it's September 8th, uh, and it's after Labor Day, once it's after Labor Day here in New York, that means school is going to be back in session. Now, a lot of the charter school kids have already been back in school, but we're not talking about y'all. I'm sorry, all due respect, charter school kids. We're not talking about y'all.
Yeah,
Bash and I,
down
we
with
from
charter
the,
schools.
yeah, we go to public school. Okay, Bash and I, we from the public school. Now, real quick, before I talk about school opening back up in New York, Bastion, do you know if there's any charter schools in LA?
Yeah, of course, charter schools all over the United
Oh,
States.
oh, okay. See, this is how you know. I'm sorry. I don't know these things.
I
This
don't
is my
believe in charter schools. I think all charter schools are a scam. All right. So, because you still need
okay.
government money and also taking money from the parents is 50-50 type thing. So, it's like, it's a scam.
I have my own problem with charter schools. I don't like certain charter schools on, especially the teachers and how they try to teach the children. I don't. There's always a disconnect when it comes to the teachers and the students. Yes, I'm gonna say culturally because I think I'm within my right of saying that because I had a sibling who was in charter school from middle school all the way up to high school. So I think I know what the hell I'm talking about.
Mm-hmm.
But yes, the New York City public school kids are back in school today because we are recording this. Well, I'm currently in the future while Bashtin is still living in the past. It is the 8th here as we are recording this. So that means you loud ass children will be back on the train, crowding up the train and disrupting my silence. A lot of you kids are going to be back on Jamaica Ave, Broadway Junction, Flatbush Junction, all of the big hubs. Y'all are going to be there. And I don't know about you, Bastion, but for the time that you were here, it just seems like every year you're just getting worse, or every year I'm just getting older and I'm just
You're getting
getting
older.
tired of it.
You're getting
Yeah,
older.
it's definitely I'm getting older and I'm getting sick of it because every time I see a group of kids together, like I would sit back and reminisce, like, oh yeah, that's how we were. God, we were fucking idiots.
Yeah.
Or I do this thing now where I'm like, we weren't that loud. Come on, we had some respect here. Come on.
No, I agree.
So,
It's I just like just don't talk to me and continue. Be loud, be ignorant. Go ahead, but don't bother the adults walking. That's the worst type of kids. Just
yeah.
people just walking where they need to be. Man, they're working. They just doing a 30-minute break. You trying to annoy them for what? It's 30-minute break. Wait till you get a 30-minute break.
Exactly. And see, that's the problem with these kids nowadays, Bastion. They don't understand
No,
the time
I
that they
don't.
have.
No.
And
I
they're not
don't care about
supposed to.
that's fine. Yeah. You're
I'm
not supposed to.
I'm joking. See,
Okay.
that's the part we're joking about getting older. See, that's the problem with these kids. Y'all don't appreciate the time that y'all have to go around here and just do whatever you want to do. Okay. But when that time is up, trust me, you're gonna want it back. I know. Okay.
Summer
Trust me, I
youth.
know.
The
It's
youth
the
of
youth.
the youth of the summer.
Oh man, this summer was great, man. How was your summer? Because summer's practically over here in New York terms, but how's it been for you, man?
It's done. It came and went. Summer's just as we're talking in the student's perspective. Summer makes sense for them because it's the vacation away from
Yes.
school. But summer for us, it's more like, are you going to use those 12 days that we give you a year for vacation during the summer, or are you going to wait for like fall?
Oh, yeah,
That's what it is for adults.
yeah, I know some jobs do that. I know with my job in particular, we have a PTO system, so like every couple of weeks it adds on to the
Yeah,
PTO, and
every hour is 0.1 or 0.2.
yeah, it's
No,
actually
every 8 hours is 0.2, something like that, right?
something like that. And I think every year you start off with like a certain amount of PTO hours. It's like
Depending if they
32.50.
follow the holiday, they give you all the holidays straight up, so it could be
Oh
40.
yeah, they give me the holiday straight up, no
Okay,
questions asked.
okay.
And if I want additional time, then yes, I would take PTO. I believe every year I start off with about 32 hours, so I haven't taken really any time off this summer except for I'm gonna say Juneteenth weekend. That's the only
Hmm.
time I took off. So the other days I was at work, but normally I would just hang out on the weekends and stuff like that. And sometimes I'd come in late. But I will say that I've had a really great summer. I think this was the summer where I know it's like corny now, but New York is back in a sense where things are just open and you can just go anywhere and do anything that you wanted. And I went to concerts. I got to see Kendrick Lamar. That's a big highlight for me. I was on the roof damn near every day. I was out with a lot of people. Was on a lot of dates. I dated a lot this summer, man. I was outside, bro. It was nuts. Smoked a lot of hookah. It was great times. It was great times this summer. And I just want to talk to the adults real quick before we get into the school stuff. Adults, summer is literally how you make it. Okay. It's what you make of it. Okay. So if you think you've had a crappy summer, I'm sorry, but that's on you. We grown now. You have work. Can't really take off for 2 months like that. I mean, if you become a teacher, you have that luxury. But hey, man, you have to learn how to diversify up your PTO. And if you don't get PTO, then I don't know what to tell you, boo. Or you gotta take certain days off. I don't know how to. Bastion, clean this up. Clean this up.
You need a new job. That's what it is. You know, a job
Thank
that
you.
respects you with some time.
Yeah,
But
get a hybrid job or something, man. That's big nowadays here in the city and just in general now. Go on TikTok, they'll
telling
tell you how to get a hybrid or a
whoa,
remote
whoa,
job.
whoa, whoa. I first of all, I've been using TikTok and I've been getting hit by those algorithms with like uh how to do hybrid, how to do this. I could tell you it's a lot of misinformation. Maybe
Mm.
one out of every maybe 20 TikToks is more truthful from the last. All right. So I don't know. I don't know. It's a risk. Maybe you should like test the waters before you're trying to dive into that side of the ocean.
Oh
So
yeah, a lot of work talk. I've seen a lot of work
work talk.
talkers. Yeah, I call it work talk or work talkers uh, who basically say what a lot of workers feel, especially when it comes to boundaries. And I love how the comments go, if you try this with any bosses, you will get fired off rip. And I'm like, yeah, I 100%, 100%.
I think my favorite TikToks are the Gen Z perspective TikToks about how they feel about certain jobs, and I think that's funny. I don't
Ooh,
believe in what their perspective is, but I always like, all right, that's funny. I let's see how far I could take it.
what is the Gen Z workers' perspective?
It's more like asking about what the job may convey, especially like if you're in sales. Sales is pretty known for having a very, very difficult work life balance
Oh,
where
of
you be
course.
taking your work home and you just got to deal with it. Like, I don't know how not to deal with it. I'm kind of ready if I do another sales position job. It's like, all right, I most likely will have to take a phone call around 7 p.m. and I'll take it. But some people just don't want that mix and they will be completely against it. So during job interview, they'll ask that. It's like, it's about putting 1,000%, not putting 100. Not
Mm,
that fake quiet quitting. You can't really do it for those type of jobs, but some jobs like you got to put in the work outside of work as well, or you be
right.
left behind and won't get those bonuses. So that's a
Yeah.
little difference.
It's definitely a difference when it comes to certain jobs, and I will definitely say when it comes to sales, yeah, you got to be a hustler when it comes to sales, or I know because I work in commercial real estate, there is a sales team that comes in and to sell you on offices and all that stuff, and a lot of them are hustlers. I will say that they actually have that natural ability to just want more, 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 which is something that you have to have as a salesperson. Also, they have a really good gift to gab, so they can sell water to a whale if they can. And salespeople, they are different personalities. I will say that. And meaning, yes, some of them can be douches and they'll just want to sell. But as an operations as a person who comes from operations in the commercial real estate world that also knows sales, you can tell them, hey, do not sell this office for this reason. And it's probably a pretty legit reason. Or, hey, this office is getting reconstructed, or this office is right by the HVAC. So that person is going to hear the HVAC. I don't suggest you selling them that office. They'll straight up ignore you and sell the office. And then the freaking client that just moved in has an issue with you. I'm like, nah, I didn't sell you this office. Go talk to the sales guy. I didn't sell that to you.
That's hilarious.
It is freaking annoying. That's what it is. But you know what else is annoying? These damn school kids messing up my peace on the trains. That's what's annoying. But I have a little scenario for you, Bashtin,
All
that I
right.
want to throw out here because I've been seeing it on the internet recently, and I think this is pretty funny. And I want to ask you this question. So you have this scenario, right? You have four subjects, right? You have English, you've got math, you have history, you have science, right?
Mm-hmm.
And you have a four color coded folders, right? Four color coded folders. You have blue, you have yellow, you have red, and you have green. Which subjects belong to which color to you and why?
Interesting. Uh, from what I remember, I always did math orange, but if you're using red, if you give me red as an option, I'll use math. Red, math. So math, red, a little bit difficult, gets you more frustrated. So I'll use that type of color for math. So red equals math. Something that's light, it doesn't really require too much work. English. So I always go for blue for English. In terms of history, I think history will definitely be a yellow because it reminds you of like an older color. That's kind of how I look at history. But history and science could be crossover. So science could also be green. History, science could also be yellow as well. But for this situation, I'll say science is green.
Okay, so we agree with one thing, and I think a lot of the internet agrees with one thing. Science is green. Science
Yeah.
is definitely green. The earth is green. Okay, land is green. Science is just green, straight out, no debate. Here's where I would differ. I would give history red. And the reason why I'd give history red is because history is pretty bloody. Okay, there's a lot
What
of
history
wars.
class are you taking that's bloody?
What?
It's
Are you
surface
kidding?
level explanations. They never talk about how many people died.
Of course they did. When they
No,
talked about
nobody.
Thanksgiving and the pilgrims and all that,
What?
they
There's
definitely
not a
talked
single
about how
class
the
that talks
natives
about the pilgrims and Thanksgiving.
they talked about how the natives died due
They
to
would never
all the
ask you that
sicknesses and all.
in
They
this
definitely
in the
did. I
in the
remember.
state regions.
But we didn't have regions in elementary school, Bastion.
Oh, you're talking about strictly elementary? Okay.
Yeah, I'm talking about, from up until like
I
sixth
think you're getting
grade.
your history revision, especially from
No,
elementary. Ain't no elementary school teaching a week's load of things. What really happened in Thanksgiving? It was a brush off history. You could
you
talk
went to
about for 30
Catholic
minutes.
school.
Not for elementary school. For like first grade, second grade. No, second grade and third grade. But that's it.
That is elementary school, Bastion.
E 4, 5, 6 is also very important too. What you're learning in second and third isn't like
Okay,
global
that's fair.
history. So,
Fine. Fair. That's fair.
and you don't take the social studies regents until you're in fourth grade.
Stop calling them the regions. They're not the regions when
What
you're in
is it
fourth
called?
grade. It's just a freaking test. I forgot what it's called,
The
man.
state
Okay.
test, state test, state test.
State test. There you go. Do you have any teachers here? Hey, teachers, please tell us what you would put for the folders, okay? But I would give history red because history is bloody.
Yeah.
History is not it's very redefined, but then as you get older, you know the truth, okay? It's very bloody.
Yep.
Okay. Science is green. I give math blue. I don't know why, but I give it blue, and then I give English yellow.
Okay. Those are logical colors. Everything's very subjective. If you feel those subjects and that's the color it matches with, then yeah, it's an emotional thing that you have to go through. It's all year round. 40 minutes a day, 4 times a week. It's very annoying for elementary school students to do that. In my opinion, I think it's nonsense.
And a lot of the time, I
yeah.
remember, especially in my elementary school, sometimes it would be just one teacher teaching all those subjects. Or if you were fortunate enough, there was different teachers that would teach different subjects. So I remember I'd have to get in the line, and then we have to go to these different teachers' classrooms. So like Mr. Trotman, who taught science, we'd have to go to his room, and then we'd have to go to the teacher who taught social studies instead of history, because it wasn't really called history yet. When I was younger, it was called social studies. I don't know if they still do that now, but social studies, that would be in a different room, and so on and so forth.
Yeah.
And then like the main teacher just taught like math and English. That was about it. The homeroom teacher, if you will. Was it the same for you?
I think for me, the homeroom teacher taught social studies, English, math, and the other subjects were taught by other teachers.
Got it.
But yeah.
Okay. Well, kids, have a great year in school. Your last day is June 27th because I know you're going to ask. So good luck. Hopefully you get some snow days in, but I hear y'all got the hybrid thing too. So you're asked out, kids.
True.
But I don't know. Hopefully Eric Adams is not like Mayor Bloomberg. We'll see. You know how Eric Adams be doing.
Roll.
So
Very risky.
it is a dice roll. It's very risky. So hopefully it's a good year for y'all. Bastion, do you know when do LA kids go back to school? Is it like August, like the rest of America?
I'm pretty sure it's the same as New York.
Really, September?
Yeah. I think
So I
so.
know, so I know kids from like down south and all that. They go back in August.
But they also leave early. They leave in May.
That is true too. Yes,
So I get it. I get it. It's when all the programs are done. But
it is when all the programs are done. And ironically enough,
you know what? I
that's
think schools are back. Maybe you're right because I did see some kids walking around last week.
mm,
I think it did start last week
uh okay.
or 2 weeks ago. But yeah, maybe you're right. I don't know anything about the student life here. So
That's fair. You really shouldn't, but I'm asking anyway because you're my only person that I know at the moment who's living in
we're
LA. So
West Coast Connect.
exactly, West Coast connection, West Side connection. There you go.
Gotcha. All right, let's get into one of the last songs. Well, second to
Sure.
last song, and then we're going to discuss some music.
Yeah, because we said we are gonna discuss music from last week, so we didn't because I got off on talking about the Manosphere and all that. I hope y'all enjoyed it because I got a lot of feedback from people, and I'm happy y'all have listened to what we had to say about it.
Yeah,
But
definitely check out last week's episode. Yeah, it was a good
yes.
one. I think it was a really good one.
Oh, thank you, man. I did my homework on it.
Yeah, yeah, it was good. The next song I would like to play is from Feast. It's called "The Limit to Your Love," and you probably heard this song before, but sung by another artist. But please check it out.
Woo! Welcome back to Black Seinfeld, the show about nothing here on 99.5 FM, WBAI New York. That was The Limit to Your Love from Feist.
And do you remember the artist that sung a very similar version to this?
Yes, this is a British man, and back then he was very sad, very lonely. Well, not really lonely. He was very sad. Okay. And that man was one James Blake.
Yeah. So James
Yes.
Blake covered this song, and I went for years not listening to the original version. So
I just found this out tonight. So that's
yeah,
so I'm like, "Oh shoot, I didn't know. I thought that I thought that James Blake version was an original and I was wrong. I feel like this is the same time where I realized that the Jonas Brother track Year 3000, it was a cover song and I never knew this.
hey, some cover songs can help careers, and I do think that particular song did help James Blake.
It
That was
did.
his first single for his self-titled James Blake LP. But speaking of music, let's get into some music. Gio, I want
Yes,
to hear you. I want to know your energy. All right, we have the man of the year,
that's right. The
DJ
myth,
Khaled,
the legend
the
himself.
legend,
Bless
Major
up.
Key.
Major key, holy key. God did bless up. Baby, you smart, you're loyal, you're grateful. I appreciate you because we the best is back. DJ Khaled, Miami's own, is back with another one. You thought you were tired of Khaled? I know I was, but god damn it, he came back with another one entitled God Did, because without God, we wouldn't have all the glory. And when I mean glory, I mean the success. And that's the key to life. It's the success. And Dove deodorant. Lion.
Lion. I remember that. That's a deep cut.
Yeah, it
That's a
was a
deep.
deep cut, man. That
Is
was when he
it?
was the king
I
of
feel like
Snapchat.
yeah, people know. If you know, you know.
If
That's
you
what it
know,
is.
you know, man. He was really the king of Snapchat. But yes, DJ Khaled is back with another album. We have not heard from Mr. Khaled since 2020 with
Hmm.
that awful ass album that we reviewed back then, which was, I remember only one track I really enjoyed
We
from that
talking about
album.
2021. Khaled.
Yeah, 2021, Khaled,
Yeah.
Khaled. And the only real song I appreciated was the last track, and that was Where You Come From, and that was with Buju Banton, Bounty Capitan. And I didn't really care much about any other track. I didn't care for Sorry Not Sorry. Yes, that's the one with Jay-Z and Nas. I thought, eh, whatever. And I had a real theory. Oh, what else was in there? The Justin Bieber track was there. Grease from Drake. Pop Star, I believe, was on that album as well. Yes, it was. I'm just looking through the track again. But I remember listening to Khaled back in 2021, and I had this real theory where the artist that he's able to get on these tracks or on this album rather, it's very amazing that he's able to do that, but I don't think they're trying their best on these albums. I think they're doing it because it's Khaled and they're like, all right, why not? Let me just do this. Let's get this money real quick. So I'm just gonna give you some BS, and that's about it. And Khaled seems blessed by it. But hey, I thought he couldn't get any worse, but here we are with God did. No, I'm just kidding. I actually thought it was. I'm grading this on a Khaled curve. Okay, I thought this was a lot better than
Mm.
Khaled. It was a
Okay.
lot better. I was expecting worse, but I was pleasantly surprised with liking more than one song on this album.
And I will have to agree with you as well. There
Really,
were a
I'm
couple of
shocked.
features that I thought did a pretty good job for in order to keep me listening. It's about replay value, right? It's like,
Yes,
wow, this is a great track by this artist.
I agree.
I hope the album's good enough for me to go back to this artist. I mean, go back to this song within the context of the album,
Hmm.
but I still think it fell off in a way where I could take these songs out and put it on a playlist and listen to it. If anything, I would like to say, um, Drake, who's I think he has the most features on this album because he's on it twice,
Yes.
two songs. Well, I won't really count the first one, but
Yeah, I was
anyways,
gonna ask.
it
No secret. Are we counting the intro?
it kind of fits like a Drake album nowadays, where it's just a bunch of singles and together doesn't mean anything compared to if you just put it in a playlist. It'll fit perfect. Any Drake song fits perfect in your playlist, but it doesn't even fit well within the context of its own album. And
Mm.
that's why I feel God did, even though. All right, I just want to let first thing on my mind, the idea that God did the catchphrase, like what the hell is that? That's the wackest catchphrase. Like Major Key, I always had a problem with it, but it was good enough. And the emoji, this is when emoji was a very instrumental to marketing, right? It still
What?
is today, and I still find it very corny. But back then, it was fine, right? Apple emoji, it just it's now used in a way where marketers would just put it on every single thing, and I have a problem with that. Um, God did as a catchphrase, then it I think for him, he feels like it missed the same energy compared to like K Dot's Pray for Me and Damn. Sprinkle throughout the album, Pray for Me,
Mm.
beautiful. It's dark. You understand what he means. It's holy, like both my grandma's dead, so no one's praying for me. Like you could feel that,
Right,
right?
but it's not annoying.
It's
DJ
and
Khaled is annoying.
it's annoying. Another person, Tyler the Creator, Call Me If You Get Lost. It fits within the essence of the album. Out of nowhere, it would just cut. Call me if you get lost. Call me if you get like it fits. Like you understand what the album's about. So every time you hear that, you're like, oh
Mhm.
yeah, I'm in the mixtape. I'm
Yes.
listening to a Tyler album. Now God did. I understood that listening to DJ Khaled, he's going to scream on some track. I'm prepared, but I just don't like it. I just don't. I went back to like the old T Pain Khaled days. It
Mm.
was still annoying back then, but it was done and then like maybe a artistic level where I just always enjoyed it.
It's very minimal too when he does it, right? He just came in, oh, we the best. Da, 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 da. All right, that's it.
If
Shut up.
if it's like a Switz Beats ad lib or uh,
Showtime.
even Diddy ad libs in back in the '90s, going back in time. I didn't grow up listening to it. Maybe like early 2000s Diddy, yes,
Mm.
but it seems to fit. Like I don't mind Diddy yelling on a track. Like Diddy did a song with Jay Electronica back in 2007 or 2009. Don't quote me on it. The Ghost of Christopher Wallace, and 2 minutes is Jay Electronica rapping, and then the next 3 minutes is Diddy being Diddy,
Just
and it
talking to
works. It just works. So it's like God did. I'm like, come on, bro. I know you could do better.
well,
Th-
DJ Khaled has a level of annoyance. There's an annoyance threshold that I can only tolerate when it comes to DJ Khaled, and I don't know why, but he always seems to exceed it every time he starts off a track. Like you just know it's coming, but it's his voice. It's just how he portrays himself. And granted, he's been doing that whole you played yourself and all that stuff since 2015, 2016, but it's still annoying. And I think the reason why I'm annoyed by it is because we can give DJ Khaled his flowers. DJ Khaled has great.
He's already
cult
legendary status.
right,
I don't think we're dismissive of that.
right. He's come from radio. You've seen him in Shatas. He's cultivated really great hits. Okay, and my problem with DJ Khaled is I just feel like he wasn't really trying anymore, and I still don't feel like he's trying a lot more.
Wait. I might have to quickly. I think DJ Khaled is equivalent to a wrestler trying to make it, trying to get his.
Elaborate, please.
In the art form, maybe not just wrestling, but just like in arts, right?
Okay.
You say random stuff in order to catch the viewer, and something sticks. It becomes a meme. You're going to use that meme as your catchphrase, right? Like, We the Best is something that he came up with and it worked, right? Yeah. But You Loyal, that was a meme.
That took off.
And it took off, and he took it off. Once he realized that people find the whole You Loyal, or, I think, what's another one? Another one.
Yourself.
Another one. That's a meme. He took off. He pushed it forward, right?
Yes.
He's fine with that. You played yourself. Like God did is just like, I'm trying to test something new. You be in team of marketing. What's your thoughts on God did? And that's how it sounds to me. Like, we're not even talking about the album. We're talking about the presentation, because DJ Khaled is a presenter. He's a producer. I don't think he makes beats, but he definitely
used to
orchestrates the artist to be in the song together.
Are we calling him Quincy Jones now?
Yeah, if anything, yeah, that's what they did, right? But Quincy Jones
don't do that to Quincy.
I didn't say that. You said that.
I'm asking a question. You said yes.
No, but he's an orchestrator. He puts the right producer with the artist together. And Quincy Jones actually like lowered the track, and it's like, all right, let's change this. It was a different time. You actually had to sing, dance, and understand theory back then. Okay?
The man composed music. Okay,
part of it. He hired the right artist and to do all this stuff.
We saw the Quincy documentary.
Yeah, I know. That's what I'm referring to as well. But Khaled pretty much does the same thing. He like the beats, got the artists, and just to go by the songs.
Yes,
there are a few songs that I thoroughly do enjoy, and I know you're gonna hate me on this, but I don't hate Use This Gospel.
What?
I don't hate it because I still have like deep admiration for Eminem.
I can't even hear you anymore.
Use This Gospel uses a beautiful Kanye West track already, like a beautiful Kanye West track. And then you had Eminem rap on it. And he wasn't so robotic where it's painful enough to skip the track, but he sounded fine enough to listen to the whole thing where I didn't hate it. So I don't really hate this song. I just don't understand its purpose within the context of the album.
So you agree it wasn't needed?
It's not needed. I don't think any Eminem song is really needed, but when you hear it, it's like, all right, this is cool. It's like listening to like LL Cool J or like old beat up rappers that just, really good at acting now, right? But if you heard a new LL Cool J song, it's like, why are you trying to give me new music?
Don't do that,
Ludacris. You want to listen to new Ludacris music?
No, and we told him that on the verses. No.
So it's sometimes like, hey, your new life is a little bit better than your old life, and rap. It's a young person's game. It's really hard to stay in it. The Lil Durk, 21 Savage, Roddy Ricch, Keep Going. That's a great song. Quavo and Takeoff, Party, My Girl. Like, people used to make jokes on Eddie Murphy about that song, but it was a hit back then, and it was a hit now, and it works.
Because of Rick James too.
Worst song, Rick James. Worst song ever. Staying Alive. by Drake and Lil Baby. Just not a good song, and we
Agree.
discussed this before. Um, the Nardo Wick Kodak Black songs, it's not bad, but it's not bad. The Future and SZA song is not good, not good at all. The Travis Scott song, and it's funny because I had my boy Amador. I was like, "Yo, we need more Travis Scott." It sucks. He's really missing in the game, and the game feels it. It's painful. The lack of Travis Scott in this hip hop age is very painful. All right,
He's been silent ever since that whole Astro World thing happened.
The Astro World incident, man, that was messed up. It's so painful to the point I might call the whole incident a psyop, but I won't say that. That's not what I said. Anyways, Lotto and the City Girls.
It's not for you. It's not for you.
I like Lotto.
I love Lotto.
The song is good for somebody.
Right, just not for us.
21 Savage, Way Past Luck, great beat. The song could have been on his own album. Sometimes 21 Savage flow sometimes feels like he's offbeat, and you always call Earl Sweatshirt offbeat, but like sometimes 21 just sounds offbeat. But that's pretty much it. And Juice WRLD, not really crazy. The Jadakiss song. What's your opinion on the Jadakiss song?
Okay, so we already have a song that used the Jadakiss New York intro, and I thought it was done a lot better, and that was the Roddy Ricch album that I talked about earlier on in the summertime. I thought the intro was not needed, but the song itself was fine.
Okay. I thought the intro was great. The song just didn't live up to the intro.
Well,
Because
see,
the intro's too great.
exactly, and that's the point, and that's the problem, right? I don't need to listen to this on DJ Khaled's album because you know why? Every damn day, I still have the clip, and I go back to the clip when I want to feel
I go
inspired,
back
when I
to
want
it
to feel like I'm
once
just,
a month.
I'm from New York, okay? I don't
Yeah.
want to hear something that good, and then it gets cut. The reason why you don't like it because it cuts straight into James Brown, okay?
Yeah.
It's not
yeah.
what you want to hear. So that's why I'm saying the song isn't bad itself, but I don't want the intro because the intro and the song itself, it does not mesh. Yes, it's about New York, but it's a totally different field from what the song actually is. It's not giving you that aggressive, yeah, I'm from New York, da 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 da. It's giving you like, oh yeah, I'm a New Yorker. I'm from New York City. I'm listening to a James Brown sample with Jadakiss on it. This is great, but no, not. I don't want the intro. It's like two things that are really good that don't go together.
Yeah.
It's like cheese and ice cream don't go together.
And he ended the album with Worry, and I think that's kind of a cheat code because Kanye really pretty much mastered like the Worry cheat code. So it's like I'm gonna end it with Worry. It's like, oh, okay, I see what you're trying to do. Worry's great. I would like more music from Worry with some like nice production.
You cheated, Bashtin. You skipped "These Streets Know My Name," featuring Buju Banton and Capleton.
Oh, that is a good song. That is a good song.
Okay.
High energy, good pace. I think I forgot to like it. That's why. But yeah, these are all good songs, and we spoke about the Jay-Z verse already. So I think
Of
we're
course.
done. Anything else you'd like to say on this album?
Well, for one, I would like to say the Use This Gospel remix. I'm not mad at you, Bashtin, for liking this song. I'm just a bit disappointed. That's all. I'm a bit disappointed because I don't think the song was one needed, all the extra drums and all that, and then Eminem just being Eminem again, just doing what the hell he does because he's Eminem and he can do whatever he wants. I hate that.
He's not as robotic on this song compared to his last 3 albums.
That
and
is
I've listened
true.
to
He
them.
is not
So that's what
robotic.
makes the song more bearable.
I just hate how he flows on this. I do not like it. Just why can't he just rap normal? Like you told me, why can't he just rap normal?
He's
For a
too
change.
good, that's why.
No, you know why? Because he's not entertained by rapping normal. He doesn't want to give the fans what they want. What we need to happen again is Eminem has to come out with complete garbage again, and everyone has to trash it so he could come out with something better than the garbage. That's what we need to do. Party all the time. I remember talking to you about this track, the track list first, right? And I said, yo, if he samples what I think he's sampling, Screw this album.
But the song came out back then. Did you forget?
I didn't listen to it though.
Oh, I did. Yeah,
I didn't. So I listened to it when the album came out, and I have to agree with you, Bastion. I really enjoyed it. I enjoyed it a lot more than what I thought I would. It's a really good song and it's really catchy. And I think the sample was used properly. That's how you properly use a damn sample, people. Not just taking the damn whole song and then just adding another freaking bass to it or adding some reverb in it and going, "Oh, hey, you remember this song? Now let's rap over it with more bass and reverb." No, this is how you add some real sampling to hip hop music. Okay, that's good. That's a good example right there. I personally love the Nardo Wick Kodak Black album. It Ain't Safe because it's ratchet, it's Nardo Wick, it's Kodak Black. I know what I'm expecting when it comes to that track. Let's Pray, Don Toliver and Travis Scott. It's peanut butter and jelly at this point. It's chocolate and peanut butter. It's gonna stick no matter what. I do like the Jadakiss interlude. The Streets Know My Name. I actually did not like this record. I don't. It wasn't one of my favorites, and you know me, I'm a big Caribbean person, a big dancehall reggae enthusiast here. But nah, I didn't think this. It didn't really mesh well. I didn't like the beat.
Mm.
I didn't like how everyone gelled and meshed together. It wasn't for me.
You feel like they weren't in the same room.
Definitely were not in the same room. A lot of these people weren't in the same room. And then, of course, the title track God Did, Rick Ross, Lil Wayne. I feel bad, honestly, for Rick Ross and Lil Wayne. I think Khaled set their asses up.
Yeah, I think so too.
Yeah, Jay-Z rapped on this 8-minute song for most of it, for like a good 4 or 5 minutes. And he completely just, it's just insane that this man is like 52 years old and he's still rapping in the ability that he is. And I'm sure you saw everyone playing this damn verse and dissecting every verse that he was saying on it. And the man is just, he's phenomenal. Okay. He's one of the GOATs for a reason. Respect to Jay-Z. And yeah, that's how we feel about God Did. It's not as bad as his last one, but it's still not the best. So there you go. It's a solid D on for me. Pause.
I give it a 5. I give it a 5 out of 10. Like, will I go back to it? No, I have no reason to go back to it after this review.
That's fine.
A couple singles I would like to take, maybe.
Yeah.
Maybe we could take a couple singles, but yeah, I pretty much unliked every single track. And because on title you like a track, it'll be on your songs list, but
okay. Well, I completely edited out God Did. So remember how last week I was like, oh, I'm editing this song. So I basically just took the beginning part where Khaled was talking his crap, got the chorus, and then Jay-Z's verse starts, and that's it. That's the song. And it's still like a good 4 or 5 minutes.
Yeah. All right, that's enough clowning Khaled. I hope
he did an okay
he will
job.
come out with a really good project eventually. Next project, let's talk about your boy. You know, you told me this is one of the albums that you're looking forward to. You said 2022 has blessed you because you're able to get all the artists to drop. Like, every artist on your list actually dropped an album except for me.
Dropped.
My favorite artist hasn't dropped anything. Even Kanye didn't drop anything, which is hilarious.
Wait, you're not counting Donda 2?
It doesn't exist anywhere.
Exactly. Yeah, I told you.
In a way, the Forever Story. Gio, please, let's go over it. This is probably the first time I listened to a JID album back and forth for the past 2 weeks.
Yes.
So I do have my opinions as a new listener, but please take the stage.
Ladies and gentlemen, you heard it here first. Bashtin said it. Every freaking artist that I wanted to drop has dropped in the year 2022. 2022 has been such a huge blessing for me when it comes to artists and career and just everything. I feel blessed. And you know who did, Bashtin? God did. Bashtin. And
don't make it a thing, all right? Don't make it a thing, and it'll be good, all right?
I've been saying this now for the past however many years since JID was coming into his own. Okay, ever since 2019, where JID was just on every track, just had in a nice verse, spitting. I'm like, damn, this guy has something. And all the Revenge of the Dreamville and all that, those mixtapes, JID was heavily featured in it. I kept saying, watch out for one JID. When the Spillage Village came out back in 2020, Bashtin, who he was part of that collective, Miraba and Earth Gang and all that. I kept saying, watch out for JID. When JID can have his own melodies, like he rapping isn't all that he does. The man can sing his ass off. The man got vocals. Okay, I kept saying, watch out for JID, and I kept saying for the longest, we need a new JID project. We haven't had a JID project since 2017. It's been damn near 5 years. It has been 5 years. And now he is back with the Forever Story. And I have to tell you, this almost 15-track album, almost an hour long, a lot of 6-minute tracks.
Third verse. Bringing back the third verse.
Bringing back third verses. This man has been able to allow me to listen to longer songs, because in this day and age, there's rap tracks that are 2.5 minutes.
Yeah.
Even 1.5 minute long. There's albums that have there's rap albums that have like 13 tracks and it's like 30 minutes. This man right here is an artist. He's a real story builder with the Forever Story. He's able to, with his music, he's able to take you into his world. And after listening to this album for the past 2 weeks, one of the things I like to jokingly say about this album, I'm like, this album is designed for people who grew up with their asses whipped from their parents. Definitely off rip, because of a lot of the stories that he shares on this album, like Crack Sandwich, right? Where it's a multi-storied track where he's talking about growing up with his family, with his many brothers and sisters, and they always fight each other. But the chorus, they've definitely come from very much humble beginnings, and one of the parts of that record was I don't have cheeseburger money, make a sandwich. Don't do this, go to your dad and get your ass whipped. So he came from very humble beginnings, let's say, and all he had was his family, some of his friends, and their family and friends are just crazy because they're just fighters and they fight with each other. But when they're together, they fight with others. So it's stuff that I can relate with, and I feel like a lot of Black people can relate with, that grew up around that sort of environment. And just the way that he's able to just engulf you in that world of who he is, how he was brought up in Atlanta, his relationship with his family, like in Brother Them, and then it transitioned over very well to Sister in Them. I think this album is just really fucking good, man. JID is really an artist. Okay, and we don't say that. I don't say that lightly here on Black Seinfeld. Okay, there's people's music that I enjoy. Sometimes they can be very one-dimensional, but JID is different, man. He has the ability to just be captivating and just draw you in. And we're gonna talk about this. We're gonna talk about some of the tracks, but that's how I overall feel about this album. This is one of the best albums of the year, off rip. This is definitely, it's in my top 10. 2022 has been a great year of music. I cannot lie. It's been one of the best years in a while. Well, for this decade so far. I'm not gonna say 2016 yet, because 2016 was ridiculous, but 2022 has been amazing so far. And listen to the Forever Story, damn it. Listen to it now. Available on all DSPs. If you want to get it on vinyl, get it on vinyl. It's that good. Yes. Bashtin, what are your thoughts?
So my thoughts on this album is, like I said, this is like the first JID album I'm actually listening to. I did not really care much about him back in 2017. I heard a couple tracks. I always found him to be very similar to Kendrick Lamar.
That's fair.
Uh, and that's what a lot of people were saying. And I thought, he still had his own personality, especially as what was the Cole projects, that Dreamville projects, right?
Yeah, it was like the Dream Chasers and all that.
The first one was really good. The second one felt, it didn't have the same culture because it just dropped out of nowhere compared to the first one. They made it into a little event. But I knew JID, his rap style, I liked his voice, and I liked his cadence. And I knew it's like eventually he's going to grow into his own, or maybe we're going to just listen to him a little bit differently. Hmm. And in this project, and I don't see any Kendrick in it, right? And I hate when people say like, "Oh, he kind of reminds me of Kendrick." Like, not in this project. Because you said that, I know you only heard it once. Once you hear it by the second and third, even the first listen, I was like, "Oh, there's no Kendrick. This guy is his own person." And I just want to go over like the beats. The beats he selected for this project does truly reflect taking 5 years to make, because it does take time to get this high level of production in terms of the drumming, in terms of the beat switch, and then also in terms of the subject matter. I'm pretty sure, one day he'll do interviews. Like, some songs took 5 minutes to write. Some songs probably he had in the bag for a year or two before he could, make a staple. And you could just tell about the song. I'm gonna kind of skip around, go straight to like one of the near end tracks called Money.
Yes.
Money is a funny track. Money is a track, first listen, it sounds childish, but because the lyric content is so heavy in it, you kind of have to go back and rewind and listen to the first verse and second verse again, because the chorus is very childish. All the kids are singing. I always feel iffy about it if it's not in like a choir-esque tone. But reminds me of Nas. I Know I Can. The Nas track, I Can.
Yes.
Definitely grew up on that track. And that track, Money, right there, just talks about like this life within itself. It's like, I've eaten so many bologna sandwiches. If someone, made it for me, I'll fight them, right? And then by the end of the album, by the end of the song, it's like I'm kind of dying for a bologna sandwich. I don't mind. And it just shows this beautiful contrast that he did within the song, and he does within the album. So I actually do like it front and back. Like I said, the production is fire. And let's just go over some of the tracks.
Please. Yes, let's go.
Galaxy is a very fun way to start the album, and he said that was his coach that left him a voice message saying, "Oh, you are who I think you were. You're plastic," and that's fake. And I thought that was hilarious. But the beat for Radar, now it's very important. The sample he used is The Last Poets, and I've met one of the dudes from The Last Poets during a summer program.
Oh wow!
And I think I'm pretty sure I told you this. But yeah, and I think that was around the time when Nas's Untitled album came out, because The Last Poets was involved in it. So he was telling us about like how he helped out with the song and stuff. And once I heard it, it's like, wait, I know this song, because I used to listen to The Last Poets. You could call them hip hop before hip hop. It was more of a poetry, same thing similar to Gil Scott-Heron.
Spoken word.
Yeah, spoken word. But the hip hop essence is still there. It's just more poet spoken word. You have the chants. The chants are very heavy, very loud, and very strong.
Yes.
And then the beat comes in very strong as well. And I was like, oh, okay. This is a very interesting album already. Off of just those two things. He's using The Last Poets as a sample. And then the beat started off very, very strong. And that's what kind of kept me into actually listening to the whole album. So just off of that, and I thought I was like, this is gonna be an interesting trip. But yeah.
So then it blends straight into the next track, which is Dance Now, which has been out for a while, and I don't think we've actually ever talked about it. But I love the chant that's in it, the dum 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 dum. It's very menacing almost, and then the subject matter is somewhat menacing, because JID is talking about the assumptions that people have of him, Sort of like the naysayers, like, oh, JID probably sold his soul. Oh, he's not really from the hood. He's not really from Atlanta. He's not really from da 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 da. And he's speaking to that, and he's basically saying like, nah, nah, I'm really who I say I am. I really was about it. I was really from this life. Um, and I think he's just able to just and the beats itself, it's just able to it almost had me in this trance. It's very mesmerizing
Yeah,
with that chant.
it's really interesting. Dan, the crack sandwich, you kind of discussed it. It
Yes.
was more of a this kind of family bond during a fight,
Hmm.
and I actually did like the little snippets throughout the song because it kind of fleshed out the song and made it into a real thing. So I can imagine like I don't think he dropped any visuals for it.
No, but I know when he was on Twitter, he asked like, "Hey, what songs do you want visuals for?" Crack Sandwich was probably number one.
You need a good director for it. Maybe
Sure.
like hitting up K Dot's team, OK Lamar. I think they could do that one a little bit justice.
Maybe
Yeah.
I can see that.
But yeah,
Or maybe
yeah.
whoever directs Vince Staples videos, whoever does them, because he has really great videos. I think they
I,
would do a good
I
job.
think Vince has a good eye to create good videos. That's what I think. He also has a new Netflix television show coming soon. That's going to be pretty
Yeah.
interesting.
We're definitely gonna watch it and review it here on Black Seinfeld, the show about nothing.
So I'm not too crazy about Earth Gang. I listen to their music. I think they make
Really?
great music. I never really
Yeah, I know.
positively listen to like give them a good review on the album. But I do think they have great characters, and I thought they showed up pretty well in this song, "Can't Punk Me," and
Yes.
I thought they were very funny too.
This to me is this is the mosh song right here. It gives you that energy. It gets you hype. And JID and Earth Gang, they have that chemistry because I think they met in like college or something. They're
Hmm.
your old college buddies, so they know each other way back. So whenever they hop on a track together, you know like the quality is going to be A1. Everyone's going to show up. Everyone's knows their role, their position, they know their job. And yeah, it's just male bravado, it's just talking ish with your friends. It's one of those, hey, you can't with me. You can't with
Yeah,
my friends. And
yeah.
I love it. I love it. This is the mosh pit song.
Uh,
I can still mosh every now and again. So yes,
it'd be very interesting to hear that perform live. And the next song
it's
is
opening up.
Surround Sound, and Surround Sound
You didn't like,
is, huh?
you didn't really care for.
No, I like Surround Sound.
Did
What?
you?
Yeah, yeah.
I remember I played it and you were like, you didn't because you didn't like the Miss Fat Booty
So it's more
sample.
of the within the context.
Ah, fair enough.
So I said the same thing about Beyonce, right?
We
When
did
we
say the same thing about Break My Soul.
Break My Soul sounded a lot better within the context of the album because you know where you're getting now. It's like, what am I doing in this party? It's like, oh, I know what to do now.
Yeah, it was pretty good.
So now within the context and me listening to the songs prior and now really being in tune with the artist, now when I hear the song, it sounds a lot better.
Hmm.
If this song's become more of a foreshadow track, if anything, because it samples Aretha Franklin, One Step Ahead, Miss Booty, Mos Def, Yasin Bey, who later appears in this album in the track Stars. So I thought that was a foreshadow, and I thought that was pretty cool and done
Hella
well.
cosign.
And I don't mind the sample. It's actually a really the sample's done pretty well. Actually listening to it multiple times and paying attention, it's done pretty well. I don't remember my original opinion. I probably didn't care about it because it is a little bit light,
Yeah.
but for the feature and what everybody needs to do on it, it does fit pretty well.
Yes, featuring 21 Savage and Baby Tate, who I think is criminally underrated. And she did leave a hand in there, but it was only just vocal. She was just singing there. She can rap her ass off too. So,
Hmm.
y'all need to check out some Baby Tate because she's really good. Of course, 21 Savage. She's 21 Savage. What else can I say about 21? And
Yeah,
yeah, I actually think they all did really well. They worked well together.
and let's skip around and talk about Brother Man,
Yeah,
Brother Than Them.
Rotterdam featuring Lil Durk. It's It's a song about friends, song about brothership. It's about uh friends who sometimes maybe were your friends but not your friends anymore. But basically just the bonds that black men have as brothers, okay? And shoot, Lil Durk, which I didn't expect Lil Durk to be on a JID record, but hey, here we are. I'm glad to have you. And crap, he knocked it out the park.
Oh, it was beautiful.
It
It
was
was
so beautiful.
it was he understood he understood where to get his vocals, like the singing and the rapping and the storytelling, and it fit within the context of it, so it made JID sound good. It made Lil Durk sound good. So I think they work really well together. And I do think Lil Durk is like an amazing rapper. When he's
He
like
is.
outs when he's not doing those same old trap beats that everybody else is doing, but anytime he's doing like everything else, it's
Right.
pretty good. That's how I felt with like Hot Stuff with Cardi B, Kanye West, and Lil Durk. It's like his verse is great. This
Yeah.
single is not going anywhere because Cardi's beat just not there. But Kanye's verse
Right.
is pretty
I remember
funny.
that.
But that's just my personal opinion on it. I do think Lil Durk is a great rapper.
I know it's hard to believe, but Lil Durk has been in the game now for like 10 years.
Yeah,
And he was young when he first came out too. So it's really nice seeing him really come into his own and switching up his style too. Vocally he wasn't all that there 10 years ago, but now like he's become one of the biggest rappers in the game now. So it's great to see that.
I think he could match with anybody that asks for a feature. So I think
Yeah.
that's a big plus for your career. If you could give a feature and it's still really good, it's a big win. It's a big win. Sister of Them, that's another amazing song because the beat
Emotional as hell.
changes. Emotional as hell. I actually love the way it ends. But I think this track also had like 3 verses to it, multiple verses.
Yes. This is like a
And
6-minute track.
in terms of the forever story, this is definitely a forever story. Nicely layered to when you get to the end of it and you see kind of how problems and
Right.
dealing with family because you're a celebrity, you're never at home.
Mhm.
It kind of reminisces like a Kanye West song too.
Like
Uh,
Real Friends.
like Real Friends, Grammy Family,
Yeah.
not Grammy Family, Family Business, Family Business.
But see, back then,
And the Weekend too. Weekend had a song about this too. It's like my cousin tried to take a picture of me at my grandfather's funeral.
that's
Remember?
weird. Yeah, that's nasty.
I think it was New York too. I think if I recall. But yeah.
Yeah, as you're saying, the ending was great. The whole phone call and the cutoff, I thought that was beautiful. Uh, yeah, and it just goes to
And
show.
the crowd going on.
Yeah,
It's the
that was
small
great.
details that's a big plus. I forgot which one of these songs sound like a MacBook sound. It's like he was sending an email or something. Oh,
Oh
it was
shoot.
dropping a folder.
Yeah, yeah. I can't think about it over the top of my head, but this is what you call people. This is quality over the quantity. This man took 5 years to make this album, and it's fucking beautiful. Now, I don't know if you know this, Bashtin, but there was another song that he dropped too that was supposed to be on the album, but it wasn't cleared yet due to sample, and that was 2007 featuring J. Cole. And that
No, I don't
was
recall.
okay. I don't know if you listened to it, but that was somewhat of his version of Last Call, where he talked about his upbringing and wanting to rap and hearing J. Cole's mixtape, and then hearing Section 80, and when he got to the Section 80 part, you heard the high power beat get interwebbed into his storytelling. So it's very much so it is Last Call. It's his version of Last Call.
Mm.
We're talking about being a fan of J. Cole and then signing with him and his upbringing and why he started to rap. And I thought that's a really good way to end the album, which he is trying to get cleared for his album, because that's a great way to end it.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
And just continuing the story, getting to Stars, and Stars is just a very interesting song because you have GID. I love his first verse. The first verse, like, let a boy stay at your place, like play your songs, play a mixtape for your friends. because when I get on, like we gonna get on, and then you have Yasin Bey giving you this. I don't know how to describe it. It's not lyrical miracle, but it is living in space, place, and time. It's multi-dimensional lyric rap. Like he's not like. I think he's similar to Jay-Z.
This man said Taxman like the Taliban and ISIS, no relation to class of Osiris. What?
That's what I mean. Like he's almost like Jay-Z and Eminem in a way, where he's just very good. I think it's like Jay-Z, Eminem, Lupe, like they've been around the game for a long time, and they're not going back on their skill. They're being more complex with it. So sometimes in this song, I probably had to listen to it maybe 2 or 3 times in order for me to like understand where he was going. But man, it was deep. It was complex. It was different. So people, I'm pretty sure everybody loved the verse, but I could see people disliking the verse as well.
Because people can think of it as too pretentious.
Not really. It's because JID is very skillful in his lyrics. Like if this verse was given to, like, what's the random rapper? I don't know, Yeet. If it was given to Lil Yachty, if this verse was given to Lil Yachty, you might feel some type of way, right? But nothing against Lil Yachty. I think Lil Yachty is great. He's on and off. Great album, bad album. Great album, bad album. But I think this fits perfect within the song and within the artist as well. So it's pretty cool. It's pretty cool.
Oh, Just in Time with Kenny Mason again, but also Lil Wayne gives us a feature, and
he got a feature from him. Very interesting.
And I have to be honest with you, this is one of the Lil Wayne verses or features where it's really good.
He has a couple good verses this year. I might have to look them up again, but he had a couple of good verses. I think he could still give good verses in a way, like of course the DJ Khaled. Yeah, you're right.
When he wants to.
When he wants to.
Because let's be real, Lil Wayne has also been notorious for giving us some of the wackest bars ever. Okay, sometimes it's not like he's trying, but I guess if it's an artist he respects and he knows that the artist wants quality, like a Tyler, like a Kendrick, like a JID, he's going to show out. And I think that's what he definitely did this with the track title Just in Time, featuring, of course, Kenny Mason.
And then we get to the last track, because I kind of discussed Money already.
Right. The second to last track, because 2007 is supposed to be the real last track.
2007?
Yeah, it's supposed to be the real last track, but again, the sample wasn't cleared, so.
Okay. I might have to look into that song.
It's a good song.
It is. And then we get to Launder 2.
Oh yeah, Launder 2, Raven, Lene feature, and Aaron Allen Kane. It was a great way to end the album. It really put everything together, put everything into perspective. I have no complaints about it.
Yeah, so this is overall like a really well done, well produced, definitely curated, definitely took his time with it. And it's really interesting seeing like who's on production as well, because the Can't Punk Me has some Kitchenada production as well. That's pretty cool. But yeah, this is overall a great album. What would you rate this album? Oh, Stars has Bad But Not Good production into it. That's interesting.
Every song is not like, there's not a bad song on this. And damn, this is hard.
It too early for a rating? Do you need more time? You don't have to give a rating.
I don't want to just call it a 10 off rip, because I'm feeling like, bro, there's nothing wrong with this album. Like, I can't nitpick anything. Every track, one thing I appreciate, every track, right? Different flow. He doesn't repeat the flow at all. He harmonizes. The production is great. The story is great. Everything just blends in and out together. Like, everything is connected. There's an overarching theme. I don't do
Uh,
decimals,
all right. So
but I'm giving it a decimal.
yeah, you're
It is
giving
a
me a decimal.
9.5, and it's
All right.
probably will get a 10 at the end of the year because I listened to it that much.
So I'll give it an 8.5. I think it's a great project, and it's really good. And I definitely will continue listening to it throughout the year. And before we go, let's get into the last album, Louis.
Louis,
Kenny Beats.
yes.
This is his first solo project, and I actually did some research. And the way he described it is he never felt like he had a story to tell in order to do a solo project. But his father, who was also in the radio industry as well as a former radio DJ, he had pancreatic cancer, so he wanted to make something for him.
Aww.
And feeling the deep depression, the darkness of everything, he was able to make this album. Apparently, this album is made with different beats for the past 2 years that he selectively put together. And just a quick rundown, it's a very, very good album. If anything, I could kind of tell, like, Kenny Beats is like 31 years old. He's like a couple years older than us. And I could tell where his mind is in certain songs. Like Parentheses is like very J Dilla, kind of amateurish YouTube beat, from the early 2000s, and it's pretty cool. Then it switches up to Hold My Hand, which is definitely like a 2012 beat. I was making beats around this time too, and these are the type of beats that were popular around that time. So I could only feel like he was making beats around that era as well. So they say it's a very funky. This is when you're trying to get into your own funk and, going through the vinyl collection. And it's pretty interesting on how he's trying to kind of expand the idea of this personal project while trying to tell a story within it. Another track he did is Still.
Yes.
Still is one of my favorite tracks because it has like JPEG Mafia ad-lib sprinkled all over it. And that's another thing too about this album. It does have like artists that are sprinkled all over it. So you get like Slow Thigh, you get Vince Staples, you get Thundercat. They're just sprinkled, and even Remy Wolf. Just like I said, I'm just gonna keep on going before the show ends. Get Around is a very emotional beat, and you can kind of tell because it sounds dark, especially how the drums are.
Yeah.
More gives it to more like that LA type beat from 2012 because LA and East Coast, like West Coast and East Coast production is very different, and you could think like Flying Lotus for that. So anything sounds very similar to Flying Lotus-esque era, especially during his LA period, LA tape. That's definitely the type of music that was produced around that time. And then The Perch, which is an interesting track to me because you actually hear a young Kenny with his dad talking on live radio. And I thought that was pretty sweet. And the one last track I do want to talk about is Drop 10, which is a fire beat sample. It samples Misdemeanor, Foster Silvers. Just a great beat, great sample. Overall, it's a great project as like your own solo instrumental project. So you can put in the same sections like Madlib if you're looking for vinyls. So it's gonna be pretty interesting how people will grow with it over a period of time, and you can really tell within the next 2-3 years. So yeah.
Yeah. Unfortunately, we have to say goodbye now. So Bash, I think you did well with the explanation. It's a really good instrumental album. Definitely check out Kenny Beats' Louis. Do we have anything else to say before we go?
Check out our podcast. Just type in Black Seinfeld on any streaming service. You'll be able to see our stuff. Go on our YouTube channel, type in Black Seinfeld, check our videos. We try to update the visuals for the episodes every Friday around 6 p.m. or I'm trying to do early. I'm trying to mess with the time. We also have our website, blackseinfeld.com. Check it out. If you have any questions, please feel free to email us at blackseinfeld@gmail.com. And we're on social medias, TikTok, Twitter, and Instagram at Black Seinfeld NY. And the last song we're going to listen to today is a loop version of the song Eternals by Kenny Beats. We will see you guys next week. Peace.
Peace.